Hello, 5th grade. We're on Domain 9, Chemical Matter, Lesson 3, Scientists and Detectives, Part 1. Our objectives are to integrate multiple sources to explain the concept of chemical states and to appropriately organize information to track character development. Key vocabulary. Gesture, a movement usually of the hand or head to express meaning or point to something. Evaporate is to turn from liquid into vapor. Portable is easy to carry, and a mammal is a type of animal. Humans are mammals. Okay, we have a part of our reading today is going to be independent reading. So this is an example of our changes in state. So we have our solid, our liquid, and our gas. Notice how the particles that make up those substances have different formats. So for solid, they stay in a constant concrete area. When we're talking about the liquid change of state, the particles that make that up kind of bounce around a little bit. Now, but they can stay in a specific format in like a container. Now with gas, they go everywhere and there's really no controlling them. So when we're talking about the water cycle, it has different components that make the different changes of state. So if we're talking about condensation, so remember condensation is the gas to a liquid stage, so condensation is actually a liquid. So this is the change of state that it would be. Evaporation is the form of a gas. Then we have precipitation, which is also a liquid. Ice, you'll see ice is here. That's the solid stage. Melting is also a gas. And then remember the evaporation is going up, so that is the liquid or the gaseous stage. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a read aloud now. Chapter 3, A Fossil Goes Missing. Dr. Forrester doesn't look very happy this morning, said Felix as he poured milk on his instant oatmeal and passed the carton to Amy. She followed Felix's gaze. Dr. Forrester was standing outside the lab with Tess, gesturing and shaking her head. Matt slathered butter on his piece of toast. Julian had made himself a peanut butter sandwich, and Daria was munching on an apple. The only one who wasn't eating was Crystal. Wearing her dark glasses, she silently sipped a cup of hot tea. Before breakfast, Crystal had been sitting on her cot, working on a sketch. When Amy had asked to see what she'd drawn, Crystal had pulled her sketchbook tight to her chest. Amy had wondered why Crystal had been so secretive about her drawings. Dr. Forrester finally came over and poured herself a mug of coffee and joined them at the table. One of the little fossils from the gully seems to be missing. She lifted the cup but set it down again without taking a swallow. I could have sworn there were 6 fossils, but this morning there were just 5 on the table in the lab. Did you search the tent? Julian asked. Dr. Forrester nodded, and now Tess is searching again. The thing is, I could be mistaken about the number of fossils. There might have been 5 to start with. Still, it's a bit of a mystery. At the word mystery, Amy started to tingle all over. A missing fossil? Now that was something she could get interested in. Amy thought about Inspector Ellis and his notepad. She suddenly remembered she'd tucked a small notebook outside the front pocket of her backpack just before she and Matt had left home. It would be perfect for recording any clues she might uncover regarding the missing fossil. Excuse me, she said, pushing her chair away from the table. I need to get something from the tent, but I'll be right back. Amy sprinted to the tent and retrieved the notebook from her backpack, along with a mechanical pencil. As she turned to leave, she spotted Crystal's sketchbook lying on her cot. Before Amy realized what she was doing, she opened the sketchbook and quickly flipped through the pages until she came to one full of detailed drawings of the little fossils from the gully. There were drawings of 6 different fossils, not 5. So there was a fossil missing. Amy put Crystal's sketchbook back where she found it and hurried back to join the others. On the drive out of the dig site, Amy clutched her notebook, lost in thought. How had the fossil gone missing? Had someone taken it? And why hadn't Crystal mentioned her drawings to Dr. Forrester? You look better today, sis, Matt said, interrupting the stream of questions running through Amy's head. Yesterday you seemed pretty unhappy. Amy smiled at her brother. Today's different, she thought. Today, there's a mystery to be solved. So Amy wants to be a detective, not a scientist. So now it looks as though there might be a case. So you're going to be acting as detectives as well as scientists as you figure out if there is a mystery to be solved, or if so, the culprit. Your first act as detective is to track the characters. You need to organize the information so you can easily track the information later and use. As detectives, you have to be scrupulous about when you are recording factual information and when you're making inferences about the characters. While the inferences are important in analyzing characters, they wouldn't be accepted by an police officer or judge. You're tracking characters as a precaution. We don't know yet if there was even a crime. So you're going to actually create a character map for each of the characters. Amy, Tess, Julian, Crystal, Daria, and Felix. You're going to keep these available for future lessons. So you're going to choose choose from the following 4 styles of character maps to create. So please create these on a separate piece of paper, and you're going to be able to add to them as we go on through this lesson or these lessons for this unit. So make sure you have these readily available if we need to add anything. Now you can choose from one of these 4 character maps that you would like to use. You can do this kind of map where you have the main character noted here, and you have their character traits and observations, says and does, relationship with other characters, and motivations and wants. This would be one character map. Character map 2 has those same principles, but it's broken down by chapter. Now also make sure you note that this is what the character, so you wouldn't label this for Matt. Character map 3. It breaks it down to the interactions up to the different characters. You could have it just written as a paragraph. Whichever of these makes most sense to you is the way we want you to do it. And again, we're going to be adding to this throughout the unit, so it's good to keep these ready and handy. So your assessment for today is you're going to read through Tess's rules for observation and you're going to answer the question. And we will see everyone in lesson 4.